There was one thing that was as sure as the sunset. And you know how sure the sunset is. You know my view about sunrise and sunset. It's a guarantee. And no matter how crappy your day's been, no matter how upset you are, no matter what a tough day you had at work, tomorrow the sun will rise. It's a new start. Tomorrow's another day. Shohei Ohtani was a mortal lock to win the MVP. It was not even a race that was worth discussing in the American League. You're talking about a guy who's pitched, he's hit, he was leading the league in home runs, and he was a starting pitcher for a team that stinks, the Anaheim Angels. Mike Trout's been hurt. Anthony Rendon's been hurt and mediocre. They have no other pitching to speak of. Ohtani pitches once a week at most. He DHs the rest of the time. And the Angels, shockingly, will spend another October doing what you and I are doing, which is watching baseball. Another year of Mike Trout, another year of Ohtani, another year of Anthony Rendon wasted. But Ohtani was the most valuable player. I went on radio in Canada with my friends there on a show called Writer's Block. Doesn't CBS have a show called Writer's Block? Except I think that the Canadian show is WRITER, and I think the CBS one is REITER. Interesting. Anyway, I'm not confused by it. You shouldn't be. And I said, if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has a good September and the Blue Jays make the playoffs, he has a really good chance of winning the MVP. And I said this in August. I was laughed off the radio. It's done. Ohtani's the winner. Will Middlebrooks, love you, man, laughed off the radio, laughed off Twitter, because what Shohei Ohtani is doing is historic. Forget Babe Ruth. In the history of baseball, finding a player who can both hit at the top of the lineup, finding a player who can start the All-Star game and lead off the All-Star game, finding a player who can pitch effectively and lead the league in home runs, you got yourself an MVP. Does that mean that every year, if he's going to be a two-way player, which I told you I don't think he should be, and I'm sticking to that, does that mean he automatically gets the MVP every year? Or you just give it to him once because of the novelty? But what about next year if he pitches again and hits 40 bombs? Does that mean he's permanently the MVP? With all respect to Andre Dawson, who you know I personally love and care about, winning the MVP for a last place team or a non-playoff team, it's doable, but not in the case when you've got a player who can win the Triple Crown the way Vladimir Guerrero can. Now, all of you analytics people say the Triple Crown doesn't mean anything anymore. Who cares about average and home runs and RBI? It's about WAR and WAR Plus and UFC and DNA and LSD. It's only about W. If you can win the Triple Crown and bring your team through a September rush of victories and make the playoffs, you're the most valuable player. You are the player, and people could say George Springer is more valuable for the Blue Jays. People could say that Hernandez is super valuable and how great it is to have Ryu, and Robbie Ray could win the Cy Young, and a lot of good players. But Vladimir Guerrero is leading major leagues in home runs with 44. He's tied for fourth in runs batted in with 102. He's hitting about 318, which is first. That's the MVP. I understand that what Ohtani is doing is historic, but if Vladimir Guerrero has taken a team north of the border, put them on his back after he worked to take care of his body, after he proved the doubters wrong and has stayed healthy and has performed at an extremely young age, he already has more home runs. Is this right, Coca? I could be wrong. I think he has more home runs right now than his father ever had in his Hall of Fame career. Is that right? Well, it is the year of the home run. Although we were told they were deadening the balls. We're going to have to revisit that, aren't we? Remember the wait to see that I said home runs will be down because the balls are a little deadened? I haven't looked at the stats, whether home runs are down from last year. I just know that Vladimir Guerrero is leading his team to the promised land. If you're not watching the Blue Jays, check them out. They are a team that just continues to win. They're a team that, Vladimir Sr., thank you, Coca, had 44. So he's tied. Wait, didn't Vladimir hit his 45th last night? I think he did, which means that he now has hit more home runs than his dad ever hit. That is remarkable. Whew.